Power XL air frying oven, having an Evo sprayer is going to be a game changer when it comes to being able to atomize things on your food. Now we're looking to add a little flavor and a little color sometimes, or a little oil without drowning the food in all of that substance. So now when you put things inside here like olive oil, balsamic vinegars, soy sauces, whatever you put inside, every pull of the trigger will preload this to dispense 1/4 teaspoon of whatever you have inside. So say it's olive oil and you want to spritz your caprese salad, or it's a little balsamic and you want to spritz that salmon before you put it on the grill, or you're trying to spray vegetables to get them ready to go into the oven on a sheet pan and want to add just a little bit of oil, or you're about to put crinkle cuts in your air fryer, God's most perfect French fry, and you want to make sure that they're a little crispy without being drowned in the oil. This is the way you're going to go. Now, with this Evo sprayer, you're getting 2 in our assortment today. You're also going to get a funnel and the little pre-printed throat rings so you'll know exactly what's inside. Now, here's your set of 2, and we're calling this one the charcoal. From there, we go to blue, then red, then green, and finally the purple. Now, remember, oh, and yellow. I missed the yellow. There's the yellow down front. Purple is most limited, and yellow is available down front. What's important to know is you're getting 2 in this pack up for $21.50. And I believe we have a little animation that shows with every pull of the trigger, you're preloading the machine with a 1/4 teaspoon of whatever you have inside. So when you prime it, it preloads a 1/4 teaspoon, and that's what it dispenses, either horizontally or vertically. And you're going to be amazed at with how much of these kinds of substances you use on a regular basis until you start using them in an Evo. Really, really impressive. Let's bring in Rick Roman. He is the man that brings Evo to QVC, and he's got some great demos. I've got some here that will echo what he's doing. Rick, it's good to have you back, pal.
David, great to be with you. And you know what? I love what you just said. This, to me, Evo just changes the way you're going to use oil in the kitchen, out near the barbecue like I was yesterday. And that's because it has a patented trigger head that allows you to spray that oil like you just showed with that animation. And you know you're getting a measured 1/4 teaspoon so you can control how much you're using. But here's my favorite demonstration, okay? And I just did this yesterday for the grill. I have some eggplant sliced here. Now, often we would try to pour oil out of a bottle traditionally. Now, I'll get this close to the camera so you can see. And what happens is when you pour out of a bottle, you get that heavy stream, David. And look what happens. You get a lot of oil in a small area. So you wind up using excessive amounts of oil. With Evo, our patented trigger sprayer, I can get a 1/4 teaspoon. And look how I got a nice, light, even coat of oil so I don't drown the food. But I also save calories and fat because I'm not using too much. And guess what? My food cooks and crisps up better because it's not soggy from too much oil. And that's just one example of how I use it in the kitchen. If I'm air frying, okay, you just said crinkle cuts, right? And you want to put a little oil on these fries, you can never do it pouring out of a bottle. But with Evo, I can get that light, even spray. And here's the important thing, David. When you're using your Evo, you want to make sure you pull the trigger all the way completely so you get that nice mist coming out. But look at these fries now. A teaspoon of oil spread over all those fries. So whether it's roasting, baking, grilling, you name it, it's going to save you the amount of oil used to give you better flavor and better results.
Now, I've got an Airfry Basket here, too, with crinkle cuts inside. Remember, every pull of the trigger is only a 1/4 teaspoon. So there's a 1/4 teaspoon, there's a half, there's 3/4. And I can do one more, and that's a teaspoon of oil. Give that a little shake and pop those right into the air fryer. Now, let me show this to you in another way. Now, I've got the same amount of cauliflower on both these platters. I have a 1 teaspoon measure. I'm going to fill this with 1 teaspoon of chili oil. Now, this is equal to 4 pumps of the Evo, right? So let me see if I can get this spread across the whole plate here.
That's tough.
Nope, that's only about half. And even the areas where, and that was a whole teaspoon. I barely got anything on there. Now let's take the Evo sprayer, come to this side. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the same amount of oil that I just measured out on that teaspoon. But when you atomize it and you spray it, you get more even coverage. Now, obviously, if I wanted a little bit more here, just hit there and there. That's 1.5 teaspoons of oil as opposed to lots and lots globbed on or poured on. Now, let's take everyone through color choices again, reminding you get a set of 2 here in the charcoal. Most popular. Here's blue, 1,300 remain. Here's red. Here's green. Purple, 800 left in the purple, and down front is the yellow. And 1,000 in the yellow. Now, what do you have on your end, Rick?
So, David, here's another great example of how I love to use it. You know, I want to make a little bit of a seasoned bread. And how do I get that oil on the bread? So check this out. If you tried to pour the oil, you couldn't do it. But with Evo, I can get a 1/4 teaspoon. And I'm just using chili oil so you can see it. But imagine making your favorite garlic bread. Look how I was able to use just a 1/4 teaspoon, but how it covers that entire area. Here's another great example, David. If I want to do something like a caprese salad, but I don't want to drown it in the oil, well, now I can take my oil and I can get in real tight. And again, you want to pull the trigger all the way, and that's 1 teaspoon of oil. I've covered my tomatoes, and then I want to add a little balsamic. Check this out. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 teaspoon each of oil and vinegar, and check that out. Look how every tomato has just the right amount. It's not swimming, and you're not wasting and throwing that oil away that's sitting on the plate. You're just getting it on the food. And again, David, I'll just show this one more time. A 1/4 teaspoon, like you were just showing. This is a big white plate here. Check this out. A 1/4 teaspoon. Look at this. Doesn't go anywhere, right? But when you have Evo, watch the same amount. Look at how far across a 1/4 teaspoon spreads versus this little bit of an area.
Right.
This is how you want to use oil.
Now, the only thing I saw missing on your caprese was some mozzarella. So we have the mozzarella on our end, but I already put a little, I only put a 1/2 teaspoon of olive oil. And then I'll hit that with a little balsamic, and look how beautiful. Quick, easy, and evenly distributed. I even got it on the lemons, which is nice because then you can just wipe it right up on the table. Whoops. So this is what, but you know what? That also raises a good point. If I did not want to shoot horizontally, you can also change this to where it then sprays vertically. So you get more of a narrow swath as opposed to a wider one. So that works out well too. You just turn this little nozzle on the front. Now, we're very, very busy with this item. In fact, 1,800 of these are gone. Mr. Roman, it is always a pleasure to have you back. Hope you and your family are all well.
Yes, very much so. Thank you, David. Great to be with you. Wish everybody well.
Take care, pal. Be well. All right,
Thanks.
This is going to wrap up this presentation, but we're going to talk now about food of the month, and we're going to make our way to the Faroe Islands. Okay, here we go.